Yeah, I'm more of a Black Beethoven kind of guy myself. Black Beethoven, old Black London, and well, Bohemian Rhapsody and all this stuff. And maybe we're all on the path back to home because the father was the man who had the blues in America for a reason. He was missing, well, he was rejected, and there was racism in this world. But there was more than meets the eye, and there was a scientific thing. And so look at this. AmaDeus. And he's showing you a darkened Metropolis. A darkened city. He's over it. Look at this hat. Ooh, there's something inside of his mind's eye right there. Inside of this dome. In this hat. But I saw that and I recognized it. I did. I recognized it. And I said 1927 Metropolis. This is 1927, see? The Great Depression, the New Deal, the Mount Rushmore, all right there at those same times. Look at that again. This round thing around it, the shape of the hat here. This is a real strange movie, too. And so, now most of the women, Whitney Houston, Beyonce, a lot of them, Britney Spears, I think, a lot of them have gone through such a performance or a display, a ritual for their AmaDeus, Deus being God. They fell for the French Revolution, or that's what it looks very, very French Revolution to me. It does. Well, it was judgment for the Illuminati. But through that light, the dark shines. But through the dark, the light shines. Very strange images. First building that came to mind was Rogers Communication in Canada. Second one is the U.S. Bank building in Los Angeles, California. And these buildings are towers of power. And there's more than meets the mind. And there's a polar system, and our minds have been polarly charged. Left brain, right brain, us versus them, red versus blue. We've been programmed that way too. What is for a purpose? Still, woe to them who done it, woe to the magicians. But turn to the Lord and, well, they're looking to get back to Mars, some folks, and I think we got the way to get back there. Plymouth open, find a coin, return the idols to where they belong. The pyramids, they hide ancient treasures that are just as high as they were built, I was told. And someone wanted to repaint God and recast and deny the Father. They also denied man. Okay, so they denied, picture Muddy Waters, picture even a younger version, maybe a thick fella, healthy, lion of a man who took it like a lamb. And then a man even rejected because, well, which one's pink? Green eggs and ham. And then the Lord sent his perfect son, and they even rejected him. Picture the center of the garden, Bob Marley. But next to him was Hot Fire Lava, Peter Tosh. And God showed that through, well, he shows up, music is his passion. There's a chorus in heaven and jaws a melody. Someone was building a hive mind. well, we'll see. All could be used for good, but some things go away. And there was something much better below this. Or they built it along the way. We shall see on the day of Revelation. But it seems like everything got overcrowded. And the world got really hard. And people were willing to, well, turn a blind eye. And go about their business. Because, well, what else could you do in this world? Well, some people found another way. Some people were looking for a Superman. This showed up right here. It's on the same search. It showed up. But the super was more like Joe Pesci. Well, God works in mysterious ways. So think of Jesus, and then the Hulkster on the same team, and you won't like me when I'm angry, you see? But I'm not angry. I'm not a Mad Max. I'm more of a Maximilian William. What about Willie G? And some of these, well, men such as him. Children, hold on to your dreams. You ever wake up singing that? And all the beauty that was in this country that was replaced by robotics and a machine. And the machine was taking up residence here, but, well, all things can be used for good. But then there's also more than meets. There's more than that going on. And it all gets cleaned out. So a large serpent. Ooh, yeah, there's a man that had a vision about a large serpent. And then they said there's a serpent in the underground. There's always that large crocodile in the sewer. Ooh, maybe it wasn't a crocodile. Maybe the sewer wasn't always as bad as you thought in certain places. Maybe it's even worse. The underground, it could lead to somewhere else. Like a polar opposite, a polis. What if Mount Olympus was Mount Olympus in Hollywood? Maybe this just represents that for a certain purpose. Because in the beginning, all lived together. And then the world traveled around the world like a circus. And so there's this wonderful tale all around the world. And there's a quatrain of time and time hackers too. And they always show you that time machine going through Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. The Labyrinth of Pan. And it has to do with changing the line and get rid of the hero to make a Neo. And so the ending didn't make sense to me at all of the makes. Just like it didn't end. And that's, see? The Lord says the fishermen will fish again. And there's a much cleaner way to live. This shit's kind of strange. Yeah, this shit's what they got into here. This right here. And then it becomes a robot. Then it becomes like it holograms itself. It Instagrams, holograms itself, and turns into a woman. If you remember Spaceballs, was she sucking or was she blowing? Oh yeah, is it blowing the steam out or is it sucking it in? It's not sucking, it's negative pressure. That's right. Transcendence. Dmitry Itzhakov 2045. Some people wanted to put us out of our existence. They wanted to turn on some Matrix. The Matrix. There's the body. There's the robot. Here's the crazy person. There's the satanic pentagram behind them. And, well, maybe things weren't exactly as they told us in this country. The Metropolis in Latin America, 1830, 1930. Looks like a flood. Shooting the Metropolis flood scene. The courtyard of Babylon, Hollywood Highland, is basically a tribute to this, and it has Babylonian gods, idols that get destroyed. The Lord said, don't make idols of what's in heaven and what's on earth. So how will it be made new? Well, something will be revealed. There'll be a new heaven and a new earth. But it'll be back as it was. And the true beauty is the mother. And so that's the big Death Star, they called her. Because it's to their doom, because they fell and they're trying to hide. And so they've hidden her. But it was for judgment on us. And so God hid his face from us. And God is a family, both male and female. And that's represented in heaven. And just as it is on earth, the beauty is for the female. People are always looking to God, 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 but he had a bigger prize. He lifts a veil on the woman. Towers of power, like the Tower of Babylon. A big, huge antenna. A giant antenna. Magnetizing or polarizing your mind, poles and metropolises. Chop down the poles, regain the power, free the sky. Plug her in, Plymouth Light. Plymouth Laser, I like that car. You ever seen the Munsters and they made Marilyn Munster feel bad about herself? Yeah, Marilyn Munster, she said, well, I'm not, she didn't think she was as good as her, roommates there. Nah, her roommates really made her feel bad about herself, old Marilyn Munster. And then her dates, they went out running. Her dates ran away fast always. Yeah, Marilyn Munster's dates ran away fast. I lived at 7700 Bluebell Avenue. But the younger one in my house, see, I was born blonde. And I had I like to swing a bat. And that's the Batman, the Bomb Man, the Lawman. Oh, see, the Lord is blessing because I was protected by the angels, by African American folks, by everyone, even the ones that were trying to hurt me. They couldn't hurt me. Didn't mean they always wanted to. There was just like an energy thing and something bigger that you'll see. We're only using 10% of our brains, they told us. Gravitize, and we're using the base code. Base 2 or something, or I forget what it was. I wasn't a coding guy, but I remember there was that book there. Basic logic. We're only using the basic logic. And well, some people fell for pomp and circumstance. And he was a little bit what you called eccentric. And so in the shadow of the metropolis. But what is that? I saw something here. Were we nuked already? The world of California had already been nuked? And someone lied about how this war went down? And so that's what it represents, is the nuking. Because it's sound-based. And Jimi Hendrix had something to do with that too, with the... He's like, there's not a lot of time left out there. Chop it down with the edge of his hand in Devil's Tower, a giant tree chopped down. Great mysteries out there to be revealed. Megatrons, space needles, space in our minds, horseshoe casinos, and horseshoe magnets. What if you hook that horseshoe magnet up to a hydroelectric dam and find out we've been, and it wasn't anyone's fault, and I don't blame them at all. And then God shows up in music, and the God of that age, AmaDeus, AmaDeus, AmaDeus. He's not God the Father, he's their God that was placed over the world. Rock me, AmaDeus, AmaDeus. AmaDeus, AmaDeus. You gotta take the mask off and laugh sometimes. Yeah, yeah. Gotta take the mask off and laugh. Look, the unicorn, guys. The unicorn. And what's that? Well, represents more than one thing. Seduce, Deus. That's AmaDeus. Grandiose, great God. Top ramen, Amen Ra. Prod noodle, prod noodle. So, think of Ajalon, taking it for you at the beginning. They're like, no, Ajalon, no. It was his will. And he'll rise and be with you again. Such is the power of the Lord. Yeah, so Jesus walked on water, Lakers. Peter was a fisherman, Clippers. Satan fell like lightning, get behind me, Satan, Chargers. And in came the Rams. The City of Angels, California dreaming. Oh, I'm a 49er fan myself, but see, well, Jesus came from the north. But he's the product of the north and the south. Yeah. So that's right. Yeah. Oh, I did subscribe to Wired. But I always, if I had to fib on one of my interviews to tell them which, I'd say Wired and PC World. Yeah, well, Wired and PC World is what I read. Yeah, of course. I stopped lying. I said, no, I don't read those. No, I don't, dude. I don't study anything. I just fix problems when I need to. Yeah, I don't study. I don't stay up on the latest computer stuff. But every time you put me in the room, I'll figure it out. Not just alone. Yeah, you do your research when you need to. Yeah, I do research hard, but not like, I study what I want. If it's interesting, it's interesting, right? But a lot of times it's like, what, new network servers and closets? You're going to read about that? No, you'd rather go home and make some music or something, or play a video game, or exercise, ride your bike, go work in the garage. A lot of things a man can do as well. Spend time with his family, especially if you had a woman. Yeah. Sometimes you got to get out of the room, though. Yeah, I got to get out of my house. So anyway, it's all to the good. Well, you got to spend time in the studio to get songs done, though, before you can go out and perform. You can't go out and be on the concert tour if you didn't spend time in the studio. It's true. Speaking of this time in the studio, I think these guys spend a lot of time. Yeah. And so, Common, I listen to Common. And, yeah, Toot, Ankh, Hamun. And there's something to do with toot toot. Honk, I got your nose. Pink and green. See, green was rejected for being black and big. pink, rejected for being pink and blessed. Called white, honky. Then, well, other groups came in and said that they were this and that, and all want to do this. But it all gets cleaned up. And God knows who's who. Oh yeah, and Mecca's in Palm Springs, and I think the Kaaba might go to the Four Corners. And the 1620 stone might go to Mexico. What if Plymouth Rock was supposed to be down in Mexico on top of the Tichuacan, and that's what it turns it on. But it was a misshapen stone. It wasn't a perfect stone like everyone wanted. And so it was rejected. And so there's something also with relativity in this guy and his tribe. But he did show up with a feather on, and so whoever had their feathers gets their feathers back. There was once an Indian, or a native, and he would cry over a Coke can. But it turns out we were all natives. But some got X-Men along the way. Some became Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Some wanted an Ubermensch. Pretty soon, Uber and Lyft were running around town. And there was way too many cars on the road. But we heard something about hoverboards along the way. I think the Lord has something much bigger for us. Yeah. But sometimes you keep your hands inside the cart when the ride starts. And sometimes the earth shakes and maybe the lights go out. And then you see, well, they made you afraid of it in all those movies. The alien, the mothership. Fear no evil, said the Lord. Turns out, they've been here the whole time. You just didn't see it. But you wouldn't have got by without them. And so, the lights will come on. Rainbow in the dark. Dark side of the moon. My first concert, the Division Bell at Pasadena. Oh, and another beautiful thing I've seen, because it was Back to the Future, Barry Goldwater. Nicar, Agua, Electric Goldwater. At Cordova. But on the night fountain, or in the Pasadena City Hall, where the sun seems to hit perfect because it was built to alignment with the sun by someone with more beauty and, well, a better building style than we use currently, I believe. Looks kind of like Ignatin Obama. And someone wanted a new King Tut of the world, but who said King Tut was King Tut? Maybe the dude just abides. People needed to stop trying to outrank a naked man. How can you outrank a naked man? Yeah, you're trying to outrank a naked man. And he wasn't even hanging that low. No. He was just walking around happy. But see, the rapture started with Blondie, and it's got to end with Blondie, right? So, but Blondie, she was with the blues man. Blondie was with the blues man. So sometimes you try to luck. You find yourself on the wrong side of the pot of gold. But all could be restored. No judgment, too. We'll find out. Might have just been an angel singing to us. With the heart of glass. Oh, and I had a heart of glass. Yeah. Oh, I cried. But blessed is he who cries. Blessed are all of you who do what's right before the Lord. So Space Jam. When I look at the moon, I always saw a bunny, but now I see him bouncing a basketball. Yeah, that's what I always see. He's going that way, and he's maybe on your side. Yeah, see my way. Yeah, anyway. Oh yeah, And the Jordan River was in LA. Oh, man. Or was it? What about the Grand River? What about a lot of rivers that have dried up. Allegorically and physically. In the sky as well. A dust bowl. Remember the dust bowl? Grapes of wrath and the parable of the vineyard. And so they rejected the Lord. They rejected his servants. He even sent his son and they rejected him. And so what will they get? Well, even at that moment, if they come to him, they'll get forgiveness. If not, watch out. Watch out. You don't need nuclear weapons. Got the forces of nature on his side. It's more powerful. Hey, good call, Bill Nye. Yeah, good call. That's more powerful than a nuclear weapon. It's totally transformative. Cover over the entire earth and give a new earth. Or you find yourself living in such a paradise in those days. Some people thought they captured the Garden of Eden, but east of Eden, Sin City, Death Valley days. But Mecca, Palm Springs, and they called Valverde the Black Palm Springs because Valverde and one of the other places I was looking to go live because it's one of the places I could afford to buy a lot and they let me put something on it is Lake Elsinore. And those are two of the recreation places of African Americans in Los Angeles after supposedly being let free. Put into almost a more confusing situation. It's more of a soul. It's worse for your soul almost because now it's like it's just messed up. It was always messed. It's been messed up for a long time. And it takes a while to get it right. Reptiles. What do they do for us? Oh, ancient aliens. Ancient aliens. Yeah, there you go. Oh. Cells. Parasites. Microorganisms. Hex bugs. And then they controlled our mind. Well, because it's inside of us, around us. There's a frequency of signal. We receive signals just like your cell phones do, and you don't always hear them. To be programmed, to be bugged, to be chipped. Well, these things could all happen to certain people, but don't let them mark your body. And so the sky is a bug zapper and a tattoo removal. Yeah, God has a tattoo removal service made of light, and a parasite remover made of light. And well, those that were looking to make it to Mars, they'll make it to Mars. Those wanting to make it back to Andromeda will make it back to Andromeda. Maybe there is a robot planet out there, and the robots will make it back to their level. Yeah, remember there was a Data in Star Trek. There was a Klingon. There was a Vulcan. There was, well, there was a whole bunch of crew. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of folks on the crew. Yeah, that's right. And then he went down to the Amazonian place, and they went to the other place where the rocks were alive. Oh, the rocks were alive. Yeah, there was all kinds of things that was happening out there that no one saw. And so, well, and there's all kinds of legends here on this earth, and there's a lot of evidence to a lot of that stuff too. So, just keep your arms inside the car. Because why? One time I was on Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, and it almost took my arm off when it hit a pole because I had it outside the thing, and it got stuck in the arm bag. I was on a GT&E corporate family night there, or business night. Yeah. Take your family to work. Take your family to Disneyland night. Anyway. And I got my arms. I slipped it through. I was pretty greasy with that. Yeah, I'm pretty greasy when it comes to wrestling. You know what I'm saying? Anyway. Wrestled with my father. He taught me well. And so they have face. So I was looking at the ones, and you look at the Obama's like, hey, that's me. It was you, Obama. But your face matches his too. But I also met a young version of him too. And so it's like I said, I saw something, I read something about they have doppelgangers of the elect, or maybe like Resident Evil, and they have the seed, or just the Lord has been sending his angels around me. Oh yeah, and then I had these pictures of Paul McCartney's eyes and like the Beatles and hung Quatch over their mega control systems where they're calling me Jesus, and it's a British East. Well, it's a British company in aerospace. It's connected to all over the world basically. Everyone wants their hands. Everyone's got their finger in every dirty pie in every town, and so hung Quatch over there's calling me Beatles. You can just call me Beatles, and he gives me this 50th anniversary Beatles magazine. It was really nice, and I was looking at it. Then I put up these other pictures that I had because I was burning my comic. I was going to burning all my idols, and I found these other pictures. They were the original Beatles photos. These really hard cardboard ones. But then I looked and I was like, it was my eyes. Exactly, Paul McCartney. And it was 20 years to the day that I took red blotter acids at a Copeland's house on 4th of July in Burbank, and the Lord, he says, see, the Lord, I prayed, and I felt in my heart, if you don't share, why am I going to help you? So I shared the next day. The man I shared with said, music's my passion. And he named a bunch of rappers. DJ Quick, Coolio, and others. And he starts making me music. And he says, on that day, I think I'm going to make you a Jimi Hendrix song today. But that's what I had sang on for the first time. I'd never sang on anything. That day I just started freestyling over the music. We were supposed to make it up to Starlight. Starlight became Thriller Night. Michael's song Starlight, that's the basis of Thriller. We made it over to Burroughs to the wrong place. Sometimes you make a wrong turn in Albuquerque and it's to your benefit. He was trying to make it to Pismo to get a cinnamon roll. Yeah. Imagine all the people. Nah, I like some of their more rockin' stuff. Yeah, I like that rockin' stuff. The White Album. The White Album? Yeah, I like the White Album. Anyway, I wasn't much of a Beatles guy, though. No. I was Hendrix and Pink Floyd. Yeah. I was coming from Guns N' Roses and AC/DC and Ice Cube albums. I had a lot of good stuff. I had Will Smith's Summertime single. Yeah, I used to go down to Music Plus and buy singles, and they'd come in a little paperback sleeve on the single. Cassettes. Oh, I loved cassettes. Some people liked records, some like CDs. I like cassettes. Yeah, that's how it was. Oh, that's a nice one right there. Oh, that's a nice one right there. An American land yacht where I could just stretch out in the back seat. I was looking at a Jeep. I got to get a ride because I'm getting out of here. I sold my house. I got to get some wheels. I got to figure out a way to move all this shit out of here in a couple of days by myself. It's gonna be a bit of a challenge. I might just put all this shit on the street and say, so long. Anyway, Homer versus George Bush, but here comes Gorbachev. Watch out, Gorbachev. Anyway. Yeah, no worries, all gets cleaned up. Just call on the Lord, fear no evil. Love is the key. Yeah, inside some of the most love I got is from in South Central. But at the same time, wasn't all love. But it was all for my goodness. Oh yeah, right here. The electric train. They're trying to show you guys. Here's a free train. Physics girl knows how to give you guys. Yeah, look at that. A battery inside a tube, and this thing can just go. Just with a battery. And it's inside a tube, and it can't crash because it's in a tube. Bangton tubes. That's just okay. The wheel within a wheel flies with a three-ringed gyro, the flux capacitor, and the energy back in the sky. Because Satan felt like lightning. We got lightning rods everywhere. Why are we asking for the lightning? Ben Franklin seemed to have some skeletons in his closet, and he put a key on a string of rope one day. And they said things got strange when he went to France, or was it in the UK? I forget. What is a Prussian, by the way? What is it? It makes an impression of your teeth, and he becomes a dentist. He's a rabid anti-dentite. Watch out. He's a rabid anti-dentite. I got drilled and filled by the Hulvey group, but I gotta wonder if they were part of the Mulholland in the New Holland under Mulholland, and that Nike Towers of Powers and the Pirates of the Caribbean right from Disneyland actually wrote in from the Caribbean, guys. Yo ho ho ho, pirate's life for me. Yo ho ho ho. But Bob Marley told him, you build yourself a pit, you bury in it. So face the light. Yeah. And you'll all be healed and have more than you ever dreamed of. Yeah. And then your minds will be, energized, and your lamps will be lit. Full on John Wick. Didn't even have to light up the Green Lantern. Didn't even have to light up the Green Lantern. Jeez Louise. Didn't even have to throw the smooth stone. Didn't have to throw the smooth stone I found in the gutter. I found this one in the gutter. I said, that was a nice stone right there. Leonard B. Swanson. Jimmy Michaels, he said he wishes he would have met Leonard Swanson. He taught me how to throw a sling. Yeah, he taught me drill. And I used to make rock salt ice cream, and we'd have nice family get-togethers. Yeah, that was pretty fun. And then things went weird out there. Yeah. Oh yeah, Elon Musk's car can drive with. That's why there's no charging stations, because we don't need them. They know that. It's in preparation for what's coming. You turn on the power. The car just goes. And everyone's work works for good. Yeah. And even the dirtiest gangsters, well, guess what? You got the best war stories. But don't be bragging about it and trying to keep it going. Yeah, use it to your shame. Use it to your advantage to help protect others. But trust me, ain't nothing new under the sun. The Lord told me so. He showed me so too. Ever heard of reverse engineering? And a fall back, spring forward. These are the days of our lives. Sands go down. I never had what was that? Never had a Hyundai yet. No, I never had a Hyundai. I was thinking of getting a Hyundai. Yeah, I knew someone had a nice Hyundai once. Try it out. It seemed to be a solid, fast car. Not too fast, just solid. Enough power to get you down the road. That's all you need. Yeah. I'm thinking, something in the southwest region, maybe. Maybe up north. Maybe I'll finally make it up to Pismo. Last time I was up there, I bought that one Pink Floyd song where he says, I got a bike, you can ride it if you like. And I was there at the fountain. I was so lonely, and they had this model, and she was shooting pictures of the fountain. And I'm over there watching. Yeah. I love that town. Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah, look at that, sparkling, shining. Yeah, all kinds of interesting. Look at all the beauty in the world. Look at all the differences in this world. And some people wanted to put you. Remember in The Simpsons, that guy with the fake spaceship under his comb? And someone wanted to put you in, what do they call it? A unitard. Yeah, someone put the Unitarians want to put you in a unitard and said we all got to wear the same uniform. Nah, we don't need a uniform. Different strokes for different folks. Different robes for different, different strobes. Different colors out of different lights. Yeah, some want to drive an old timer, drive an old timer. You know what I'm saying? You want to drive a Lexus, you drive a Lexus. Yeah, you wanted a flying machine. Well, yeah. Okay, mothership too. I was shown something in a dream. This one was cool. It was like it came down. It was a ship, but I was like, are those U.S. military markings? But I couldn't really tell what the markings were. But it looked like those brushless motors on the drones, but they were like big. But then it was tanks on the side, and I figured out the tanks, if the gases are in the sky instead of sucked out of the sky, using the crystal energies or the whatever attracts those gases, I'm not the science man, fill up the chamber with whatever gas is needed at the time. Change the density, change how high you fly. Like those weights in that old thermometer. Yeah, this guy, Gary, he had this old thermometer with these colors, and it was really beautiful. I thought things like, I really liked that thing. The temperature would change, it would go up and down, the different color balls, and like, yeah, so there's a lot more to our minds have been based and gravitized. And so it wasn't anyone's, well, God said don't blame them because they know not what they've done. Yeah. There's a lot of X's on them. So they say treasure maps, right? X marks the spot. All right, so here's one right here. San Antonio Mission. There's an X. Ooh, what's under the X, guys? Because I was told when you build the treasure, when you hide it, when you build the pyramids and stuff, you hide your treasure just as deep. So right there. How high, how low on the other side, if you know. If you're good at the law of reversal, you gotta be a universal soldier to wrestle. You gotta be, anyway. Just not a cybernetic unit? I don't mind. Even the cybernetic unit was there to help. Yeah. And so, okay, so when people were released from slavery, there's a guy that came from the Silk Road. That sounds like a trick to me. Because Martin Luther King said he'd been to the top of the mountaintop, and he wasn't going to walk in. And he was dead 2 days later. And the blues man been singing California Dreamin'. Now, someone been Californicating on someone's kingdom. On everyone's kingdom. On top of each other. Instead of living together properly. Yeah, see? Even YouTube's talking. YouTube's talking to me. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you gotta get the choir singing. Met a woman named Carol the other day. Yeah, I met a woman named Carol at the bus stop. She was a lot of energy. She was a lot of energy. She was, she would be an elder. She had a lot of energy. People got ears to hear out there. Yeah, yeah. Every once in a while, I mean, when it rubs the wrong way. Sometimes I get mad, though. I shouldn't get mad. Sometimes I do, though. But not so much. Oh, I love me some Don King, too. There's some strange... What are some entries in the... Gematria? Anyway. No judgment. It all gets revealed. He might just be a Lion King himself, yeah. Or a Don King Khan. Oh, just teasing. Anyway. Remember King Kong Corn? Remember Starman? Remember Superstars of Wrestling? How about the Mad character? How about the Mad Balls? There was Mad Balls, and then the mask wrestlers or whatever. Oh yeah, the pink little wrestler guys. You got them at Off the Wall, and then you go over to Oak Tree. Yeah, you can get your rayon shirts and your bolo ties. Yeah, it was a different time back then. Yeah. So yeah. Remember, everything was getting good, and things went kind of crazy. And so it says right there in Freedom Rock commercial. You remember the good times, protesting, going to jail, and I was like, well, that didn't sound like the right time to me. Yeah, you can't just be trying to go to the moon and stuff. You gotta be happy when you're on the ground. Yeah, you're like, hey, I got ground to stand. This is good. I'm pretty good here. Yeah, I'm not trying to go on a space journey. I'm not trying to ascend. No. I'm pretty good. Especially the Lord gives you dominion over. Yeah, the Lord gives you dominion. You kind of just say, hey, if we have dominion and we walk together, we're good. But you try to you try to rank up, and they say, oh, you messed up. You joined the gang. Yeah, that's right. Chutes and ladders. So, well. There's probably too much talking, but it's alright. At least it's with some energy. Yeah. Airplane showed it pretty well. Okay, like, this world was turned over to the clowns, and our mugs and our minds were full of bugs. And our airports had Hare Krishnas in them. And Joey Suzu was one of them, if I recall. Never had an Isuzu either. Honda Interceptor, the Eagle Talon, the Eclipse, and the Plymouth Laser. Plymouth open, find the coin. It's shaped like a football too. It is, it's shaped like a football. Oh, someone, yeah. Deflate gate to spike the pig skin and lace him up with a Slim Shady, a Voldemort inside. It was a reverse. It was a reverse vacuum suck trick. It was. The vampire was on full seduction mode. Not that one, but just out there. It's about getting me dirty with Satan. But get behind me, Satan, said the Lord. Because it was for judgment. See? Look, Bugs Bunny got the bat, man. Oh. He ain't full of bugs. He just bugs them, that's all. WB. From Adam to Boaz to William to Brad in a quatrain. Brad Lee. Do you see? But it ain't about me. It's about you guys. I just got to feel it. Yeah. You want to hear true gospel? Listen. Listen to your music. Read the poetry. Listen with an open ear. Don't just judge that it is some other person and how did he write it. Think that that could be God talking to you. If the words are true, and you know it is. Yeah. So love.